Now, you know that 50 Cent loves to do nothing more than troll Diddy, man. So the first thing that he did was posted this picture right here once the sentence was passed down. He posted this picture of Diddy in the courtroom crying. Okay, so let's talk about Diddy. So Diddy ended up getting sentenced today, and the sentence came down pretty heavy. Now, the prosecution in this case, which was the feds, and for y'all to remember, I want y'all to remember, this is a federal case. So Diddy was going against the big boys, the highest courts in the world, you know what I mean? And some of the best prosecutors in the world on the federal side of things. So this was a tough one to win. So I don't know, judging what on the sentencing, what would be a win. I guess winning would have been time served and just go home, Mr. Combs. That would have been the best situation. But on the far end, the prosecution was asking for 11 years. So he would have did 11 years, and I think Diddy at this point is 54, 55 years old or something like that. So he would be well into his 60s before he got out. Well, the verdict is in, or I should say the verdict was already in. He was found guilty. The sentence is in now, and it looks like the judge gave him 4 years, and really 4 years, 2 months exactly. So 50 months. 50-month sentence, because in the feds they do they do it by month. So he got 50-month sentence, and in all actuality, this ain't that bad. You know what I mean? I know this looks ugly because of his age or whatnot, but he's still in working age, to be honest with you. Like, Diddy would still be out here working, doing everything he could during these years that he's locked up. You know what I mean? This wasn't really put a stop to anything. He's not in retirement age or anything like that yet. You don't get there until you're like 65 or something like that, 67. So these are still years that he would be out here moving and grooving, but I don't think it's going to take a big hit on his finances and his pocket. But with this 50-month sentence, this looks like he could probably shave off some time too. So in the rough estimate, so on the conservative side, he'll probably end up doing actually 30 months in prison, actually. So actual 30 months, so 2 years and 6 months. And that assumes that full-time serve credit plus good conduct credit, but no or minimal earn credits. So he's got a possibility to earn credits even in the feds, but it's on a month-to-month basis, so it doesn't hit as hard as, say, like on a year-to-year basis or good time by the days. You know what I mean? Because that tends to add up a lot on the state level. Now, a more optimistic look at this is Diddy could probably do 26 months. Now, this assumes that he gets full eligibility and maximal benefit under the First Step Act program. So that's a possibility for him because Diddy really hasn't been in trouble like that. I know a lot of the things that he's been accused of, and it's been said that his name was put in all these different situations with Kid Cudi and all this, but on the surface, he hasn't really been in trouble like this. And to be honest, you want my honest opinion? They could have handled this at the state level. This could have been a state level case. You know what I mean? Good for him. It's on the Fed level. So that way he can really get his money to work and really take the benefits of being, locked up in the feds. And he'll probably do his Fed time somewhere in New York. And New York, they've got, the place like you've seen in The Wolf of Wall Street where he probably could play tennis doing his Fed time. I'm being completely honest. You know what I mean? But, it depends on how the judge categorizes him. You already see him you already see his sentence 50 months. So under those sentencing guidelines, he could probably look at anywhere between 2 years and 2 months or 2 years and 6 months, as these positive projections of actual time that he does behind bars. So Diddy could be back out here in like 2.5 years. And, I'm pretty sure based on the fact of what went down in the court case today, where, you had his family up there crying, Diddy was crying. He talked about how he didn't change and everything. And I'm pretty sure he did because according to the testimony during this case, it was a whole bunch of drug-infused, alcohol-infused, bad decision-making craziness going on with all this, man. And a lot of people are upset that he was the only one who was taking a fall, because there was a lot of people who were active participants in a lot of the things that went on. You know what I mean? But to be honest, some of my best, the people that I reached out to for advice on like what their projections would, they had projected, that he would do maybe 4 years, or he would get sentenced 4 years, probably do 2, you know what I mean? Do 2 and 2. But it looks like, man, he's good. That's where we're at. He's got 4 years, 50 months exactly. So 4 years, 2 months. And a possibility to be out in 2 years and 2 months if all those programs, are assumed. So that's assuming he got full eligibility for time served, for good conduct, and under the First Step Act program. So we'll see. So it's not all over for Diddy, man. Now, the crazy part about this is you got his ops and people like 50 Cent dissing him. So, man, let's actually look at some of that. Now, you know that 50 Cent loves to do nothing more than troll Diddy, man. So the first thing that he did was posted this picture right here once the sentence was passed down. He posted this picture of Diddy in the courtroom crying. And in the caption, it says, "Hey, to whoever was booking Diddy for speaking engagement, I heard he won't be able to make it. I'm available," with the shrug emoji and the laugh emoji. Now, that's wild, man. Now, to be honest, Diddy's sentence isn't as bad as it could have been. That 11 years, that's tough. That's rough, man, because his mom, I think he said she's 84 years old or something like that. So that's a lot of time. But, man, on the funnier side, 50 Cent he's definitely drawing that line in the sand with Diddy to where they are enemies for life. And, there was a lot of speculation about his baby mom and if she was involved in this. I don't know if she was or not, but, man, this was the first thing that 50 Cent went to social media immediately to do as soon as the sentence was handed down. Then he also has a picture of this guy right here as if he's looking at Diddy, crying in the courtroom, man. So it's funny, man. Funny stuff. 50 Cent and Diddy, they're forever enemies. Their beef is going to be forever. And 50 Cent is all right with that. It seems like he's pretty cool with the fact that him and Diddy aren't cool anymore. Now, what he's referencing in this is a post that was made earlier on several blogs that were claiming that Diddy had set up a situation to where he was going to be doing appearances. Like he was feeling cocky about the fact that, hey, I'm going to beat this case and I'm going to also do appearances once I do. I'm going to start doing interviews or start doing pop-ups and stuff like that. And not to say that he needs the money or whatever to do like an interview or a pop. Even if he's not a billion anymore, he's still got close to that. You know what I'm saying? So Diddy's money is large. So, you know what I mean? Now, this is the story that 50 Cent was referencing in that post, where Diddy was said to have already been booking speaking engagements. And this is what the post said, or a lot of the blogs were reporting. It says, prosecutors say Diddy has a speaking engagement booked for next week in Miami at his sentencing. This is the height of hubris, Your Honor. So basically, the prosecutor brought this in front of the judge to try to get him more time to make him look, Your Honor, he doesn't respect your judgment. You should give him as much time as possible, give him the 11 years. Now, the judge probably saw right through that, saw this was fake, and said, forget that, man. I already made my mind up like a week ago. I'm going to give him 4 years, but I'm going to also give him a tongue lashing as well. Pause. Because the judge was giving him an earful of how he feels about how Diddy has conducted himself out here in this case and all that. But to be honest, the sentence was still favorable. You know what I mean? Now, this was a post that was also put out there where it says AUSA Slavic, so a United States attorney. And this person said, hey, Mr. Combs has booked speaking engagements for Miami for next week. That is the height of hubris. He did this for 15 years. He was responsible for transporting many escorts. That's a lot of freak-offs and a lot of hotel nights. He knew it was illegal. Now, that's true. That's all illegal. You know what I mean? But let's be real, man. Let's keep it a buck. What Diddy was found guilty of, only what he was found guilty of is what I'm addressing right here, was nothing compared to what, we were thinking about. You know what I mean? Like, he basically got caught for buying escorts, which is illegal and gross. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that's not weird behavior. That's definitely weird behavior, and it's definitely illegal, right? Nobody should be out here doing no craziness like that, right? But based on the news coverage and everything, like I said, this could have been a state case. Now, this lady, she always covers a lot of these hip-hop cases. Her name is Megan Kniff. She says, Mr. Combs' booked speaking engagements for the Miami next week. That is the height of hubris. So quoting what the prosecutor had said in court, and it says, it is pretty insane to think he'd be out that quick. There also some kind of PR effort to dupe people into thinking he could have been released last week. So basically saying that, people were putting out these PR or putting out all this media to kind of confuse the public so that way he could book events if he did get released. But the likelihood of that was not possible or even high because, he was looking at some very serious charges. He's going against the feds. It's a federal judge. He's already been found guilty. So it was all up in the air where this was going to end. Well, based on this 4-year sentence, it seems like Diddy got some sort of a break. I mean, I don't want to call it a break because he still got to do time behind bars in the feds. But what he's being found guilty of, and been sentenced of, and the time that he got with the 50 months, it's doable. You know what I'm saying? It's not anything he's got to really, he can come back and get his life back in motion and doing things. I'm pretty sure he's going to shut down his whole life after this and become a totally different person, less partying, less any of that stuff, man, because, he'll always run the risk of somebody trying to set him up, send him back to jail or anything like that. And the risk isn't worth it. You know what I mean?